Hi everyone, welcome to Talks with My Dude. Today we are talking with the one, the only Gondola. How you doing, Gondola?
I'm all right. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Would you like to give the audience a quick introduction if they haven't, watched your content at this
Oh
point
yeah,
yet?
yeah. Well, I mean, I even I don't know how to describe my content, man. I just be doing stuff. That's the truth of it. I'm just trying to make people laugh. I'm trying to have fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I mean, and that's the best part of it at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when people come up to you and you're like, that joke you made in that Elden Ring video with the falling off the cliff, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that was fun. I've been having a lot of fun messing around with the Elden Ring stuff. I've got like 9 hours of backlog video. I need to cut into stuff before I start making some more structured content. I think is what I'm going to start drifting towards.
Okay, well, let's hop right into it. So you're planning to start some structured content soon, or is that like something you're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
setting
So
yourself up for?
yeah. So the problem is right now I'm a bartender in like different bars, and I spot on a third, as well as I do a lot of work from home online stuff. So my schedule's kind of all over the shop, and it's hard for me to set a day to stream on, which is streaming's fun. I used to do community raid nights, where I would stream with my community, and that was usually a blast. But I just can't block off one day anymore. So I'm hoping to be getting a 9 to 5 soon, and then once I get that 9 to 5, it's gonna be like, this day is for streaming, this day is for editing, this day is for making sure my girlfriend don't hate me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. The three tenets of being a streamer: work and
Pretty
making
much.
sure your stream other doesn't hate you or whatever. I think is
Mm,
the trinity of things. So when you say
something like
raid
that.
night, you mean in Destiny, right? To be clear, for
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was a community raid nights, and I'm not like no Sherpa or nothing. I'm not saying I'm the best at anything. It was just it would be one. It was dumbass leading the dumbasses. Can I cuss on this one, or do you need me to?
you can cut some. YouTube is a
Okay,
little weird about it. If you say like if you drop the F bomb too many times in a row, they
I
like
don't.
demonetize you and shit. But like
Yeah,
you can swear
well,
a
I don't
little
want
bit.
to
I'm not a
make your edit. That's the problem. When I'm streaming with Josh is he bleeps out all his cuss words, so I really make him put in the work.
yeah. Well, I'll bleep out some here and there just for the bit. You gotta keep the
Ah, for the bit.
audience.
There you
You
go.
gotta keep the audience guessing. Maybe I'll just replace. Maybe you'll
He's
drop like an
gonna.
F
He's.
bomb and I'll switch it with a different cuss word.
Oh, okay.
You
That
know?
you're gonna make it sound like I said some very inappropriate things is what it is. He's gonna do me wrong in
Yeah,
front
like
of
fuck.
me. Something like that. But yeah, so it was a fun raid night, but again, it was just that was when I had a set schedule, and now it's all over the joint, honestly, and
Right.
it's stressful. And I got the thing is, streaming is the fun part. Streaming's when you have a blast, you get to talk to people, sitting there and editing it all, it can get a little much, especially if you've done 9, 10 something hours, because you got to go through, pick out the highlights, and then make sure you're cutting out all the fat and just getting the meat. Otherwise, you got a lot of dead air.
Yeah, you gotta cut out like the not funny bits or the stuff that isn't as of quality, I guess I would
Yeah.
say.
And that's been something I've been really not struggling with, but like really, really thinking about, is because something that's funny to me, ain't funny to a majority of the populace. And ultimately, I'm making my videos for me. I'm making them because I enjoy doing it, but I do want to make sure that it's not just in jokes that only I get.
Yeah, you and your imaginary friends have a bunch of in jokes, but they may not be as funny to your viewers, so I understand.
Yeah, that's it. And it's cutting out. I'd say cutting out a lot of burping, but actually I add those in. Those are pretty funny.
Yeah, I think when especially when you like get killed by a Elden Ring boss and you're just let out a lot like a good rip.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
think that
because
I think that'd be good. It's a good little.
yeah, because if I'm streaming, I'm drinking. Typically, is how it goes.
Anybody who watches Gauntlet's videos and doesn't like the burping, I'm so sorry. I gave him the some
I can.
more.
I used to have a redeemable on my stream. It was Hydrea Samar. It was like hydrate and ASMR. I would turn the because this is like a good mic. This was the first thing I got, because I used to have like a shitty Turtle Beach mic. I got a really good one. Honestly, it's overkill. It's honestly too good because it's so good at picking up small sounds that you can hear every time I like crack my knuckles or like scratch my nuts. I can turn the gain all the way up, and I put it to my throat, and I would just chug a beer, and you can hear it going all the way down, and then let it rip, and it
Oh,
was it was disgusting, but it was fun
that's
to it was
that's a little. I
People
know
would
people like
redeem it, so it's
SMH.
not me. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying?
not
I'm
you.
not the
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
I could blame some other guy. It was.
yeah.
I do miss streaming. That was a fun one.
Not a sponsored stream about this mic, by the way. I've got the Samson Q2U or whatever. I forget what they're called. It's not dynamic. There's like dynamic, and then there's like the other kind of mic. This is kind of mic that only gets like what's right in front of it.
Mm,
It's like a
that,
you ever see like the stage mics people hold and like talk into
oh
or
yeah,
whatever? It looks
yeah,
like that. It's one of those. I just heard it was a good entry mic, so I picked that up. It was like $60 or something.
yeah. No, this was. I think this was about that. But so the problem is it points right at my girlfriend's desk over there, so it can also pick up any clacking that's happening over there. But it's honestly overkill, and also I'm dumb as rocks. So this was set on the wrong thing. This was picking up audio from like the sides as opposed
Oh
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
front,
yeah.
and I didn't know that you were supposed to talk into it from here. I thought you had to talk into it up there like a normal microphone. So my audio for the longest time was fucked. I persist to spite myself more than anything else.
Well, sometimes being a scuffed streamer is like the thing, right?
That is my
People,
whole aesthetic. I I got really severe ADD if that wasn't crazy obvious. Not the funny like oh my god, a squirrel kind. Like I persist in the perpetual now. Like it's super hard for me to keep track of things. Even things like theming stuff like that. So if I could be a little scuffed with it and do it quick and dirty and not be part of my creative identity, then that's all the better for me.
yeah, you don't have to spend 6 hours setting up for streams in 2 days. You could just turn it on, and
And let her
if it
rip.
works,
But
it works, right?
and that's no two video of mine are ever really the same. The captions are going to change, and honestly, that's been the biggest problem for me. I'm more of I would say I'm more of a variety guy than I'm a Destiny guy.
Right, right.
Just I started as a Destiny streamer, or a Destiny creator, but the problem is it's like at a certain point, unless you're doing highlights like John does, and I got some of those coming out, but like unless you're doing highlights or like build video, like what the fuck do you? Sorry, what the heck do you do when you're making videos? It's like, hi guys, this is what Zer has this week. No one cares what Zer's got anymore. That was huge in earlier Destiny, but or like here's what trials rotation, and I can't do that structured kind of content where it's the same video every time because it's not fun for me
Right.
to make. And I mean, what would I be doing that?
Right.
It
Yeah,
just
no,
it
that's
just
something I struggle with too. I mean, I'm trying to find what I want to do for YouTube outside of like this podcast, but like the podcast is different every single time. Like there's some questions I'll ask you that I asked John, that I asked Lethal, that I asked,
mm,
that I asked everybody, but those are like that's just getting to know like your content for people who like either haven't watched it or haven't been around you at all. So it's like
yeah,
the podcast is
absolutely,
always a little different. Like the one I have coming out next week is a lot more like conversational. It's gonna be more like this one. But like the one with John was like a lot of questions, a lot of like this discussion about like specific topics that were coming up. So
yeah. Well,
like that's
John's
been
awesome.
fun.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's a
yeah.
great conversationalist.
He's awesome. I'd love to pick his brains. He's incredibly charismatic. He's like the neutral good version of me if we were on the card. Well,
Yeah.
I'm more in the chaotic section. You know what I'm saying?
What's the yin to your gang or whatever? He's the
It's just I'm the Green Goblin mask in his closet, dude. It's literally yeah. But no, it's great.
it's not evil gondola. It's good. It's evil John. Like
Yeah, that's it. No, well, because no, I mean, I got mad respect. He's got what, a wife and two kids, and he's still pumping out content, and it's incredibly high quality.
oh
That's
yeah,
why he's getting he's getting the flowers he's getting is because it is up there. He's been a big inspiration to me, not just style wise. Obviously, I absolutely ripped off his way of doing captions. Sorry, John. I told it was good.
you have no idea what I'm planning. Then I'm about to
Yeah.
do those captions too.
Oh, dude. Well, there's an automated caption thing. I'll send it to you later. It saves a lot of time if you're using DaVinci Resolve. But
Yeah, I had looked into that. I was gonna see about using that because
super
Adobe has
useful.
it, but like I think Adobe's isn't as good from
Yeah,
what
well,
I've
this
seen
is
so
an
far.
open source one. This is an open source
Yeah.
one. So if I spent $300 on Resolve, I could do it, but I'm not doing that because I'm broke as all get out. But I got to be careful. I'll go on tangents like nobody's business. John's also it's just he's got that routine down. You know what I mean? He seems to have he seems to have it. He's at the level I'm trying to get at as far as routine and making content and having a community like that. I've definitely fell off in regards to posting on TikTok. I'm only focusing on YouTube now. More consistent or bigger videos. But also my Discord's just been dead as hell, and it's my own fault just because I can't monitor it and do everything else at the same time. But come the New Year's when I'm thinking I'm gonna really revamp everything.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it. I mean, it's hard to it's hard to be consistent. I don't have kids. I only have I have my job or whatever. But
Yeah,
even I'm like, okay, it's Tuesday, Thursdays usually when I try to stream if I stream. And even
yeah,
then I'm like I'm running out of time for other stuff. And I don't have
yeah,
kids. I'm like I want to
yeah,
make I want to spend time on my hobbies, build Gundams and play video games off stream and then I'm like, well,
yeah. I've had
and I've got
to,
my significant other. I'm like, well, I want to make sure that they feel, that she feels like taken care of and whatever. So it's like,
and that is huge. Yeah,
hobbies take a hit. I think the most that I wasn't anticipating. Like I don't have as much time to go play
I always say,
Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, build Gundams and
I wasn't kidding about the burping, but yeah, no, I get that entirely. And I tell you what, it's I spend more time editing video games than I do playing the darn things. But there's been hobbies I've had to completely just cut off, and I haven't messed around with in years, just because I can't do it. I just don't have the time. You just can't fit it all in. I used to be very big into Warhammer. I used to be a professional miniature painter.
oh wow.
Not to like not to like Golden Demon level or anything like that, but I got paid for it, so I call myself a professional. I did a lot of commissions, and I just haven't been able to mess with it just because it's when I ask myself, do I want to paint this little dude, or do I want to make a video that can go out there and make some people laugh, not cry. I'm not that sad, but can I put something out there that'll make someone's day better? And it almost feels a little indulgent. It feels a little selfish to mess around with stuff like that. So I haven't painted Warhammer in about or painted miniatures in about I want to say 3 something years now, just because I've had it on the back burner, maybe two.
I mean, you could always do what's it called? I had the idea and then
Paint
I
streams like the
well,
miniature painting
I
streams.
was just you could make a video on it. I know that's it's a little harder
No,
to
it
do
is.
that with the kind of content that you've put out that I've been able to enjoy and whatever. It'll be a little different, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's
Well, I'll
anything
tell you
wrong with
the
it
other
if
big
varied.
the big thing is there's in the miniature painting community, this one called a pile of shame, which is just stuff you bought because you wanted it, and then you haven't got around to painting it, and they'll be sitting there for years and years and years. Mine was massive. I actually paid rent for a couple of months. I used to work at a comic book store, so I could get it on the cheap with a discount, or if it was like a damage or whatever, that was me.
Right.
And I had such a massive pile of shame. I sold it all, paid rent for like a month, and then it's just it is now I don't have nothing to paint, so it would be a money problem. I just don't
Yeah,
have.
and Warhammer is like stupid
It's
expensive.
expensive. It gets you. It gets you. But it's kind of, and this is actually something I thoroughly believe in. You can't. It's the whole point of it isn't playing the game. It's having fun building and painting. If you don't have fun building and painting it, then you're not gonna have fun. Then you're
Doing it,
wasting your
yeah.
money. Yeah, it's like the grind in Destiny or Warframe. In my Warframe video essay I did, I talked about how there is no grind in Warframe because that is just the gameplay loop. That is just the game. So if you don't take enjoyment in doing that grind and rolling the boulder up the hill, you're not gonna have fun. Like, why are you playing the game? Because you have to find the enjoyment of rolling the boulder up the hill so you can watch it roll down the other side, right?
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that discussion comes up a lot into like the grind or whatever in Destiny.
yeah,
People don't
absolutely.
want people talk about like wanting these cool like weapons or something, but they don't want to put in the grind for them. And so like I don't know,
Yeah,
it's hurt like top end content. So
I think, yeah, I think the state of the Destiny community right now is abysmal, and it's nobody's fault but content creators. I think
yeah,
if you
John. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, John, it's John's fault. He did it all.
Yeah, specifically. I can't point like Gondola with this model, but I'm pointing.
He's pointing. But no, John's in fact the exact opposite. But it's if you don't post highlights, you're always looking to like grow, grow, grow. You always want people looking at you, and you're getting sick of doing those build videos. What do you do but whine and complain? It's easy to complain about stuff, or if you play a game. Like if I had to play Destiny like some of these streamers play Destiny, I'd complain about it too. But that's why I don't do it. You see, that's
Right.
why there's an image I post on Twitter all the time, and I'll send it to you for the visual here, where it's Dr. Manhattan blowing up the guy
Oh yeah, I've
with the
seen
green
it.
mask
The
on
the
it, and it
play
says
play
"Play
something
another
else.
game, loser."
Yeah,
Yeah, play something else, loser.
yeah.
Because they need, if you're complaining about, and obviously sometimes there are valid complaints to be had, but I think a majority of this stuff is just so minuscule that if you're not enjoying playing the game, play something else, you know? And if once you're done with your burnout, once you feel a little bit better, you come back to it, you have a blast. That's what I've been doing. I came back to Destiny. I finished all the story missions last night. but this is the day before the reset. So the new Destiny thing is out now, probably, or in about an hour.
Yeah,
But
maintenance is like right now.
yeah, but it's but when these content creators they talk negatively about the game, and they're all so doom and gloom, and they're making it seem like it's, oh, the game's over, the game's dead, everything sucks. Their community is going to take that in. Even if it's just a guy who only plays it like 2 hours a week, he's going to take that in and think the game sucks for something that doesn't even relatively affect him. And that's like a negative feedback loop of, now, okay, everybody else then looks at that content and go, or everybody else will just like see it in passing and be like, oh, Destiny sucks. So there's a reason why it's not like, happy and growing and everything. And you're going to have naysayers in every community. That's just
It's
the
nature of
part.
the beast or whatever they.
That's just the nature of being online. That's why you can see communities who, oh, they're whining for this thing and then they're whining for the other thing. But those aren't the same people. The guys who were whining at the start shut up when they got what they wanted, and it pissed off the guys who are whining now. So you're never going to be able to.
Can't please everyone.
You can't please everybody, and that's why when I see people whining at Bungie, I just roll my eyes a little, because for the most part, now there are some things you can whine about, cars, but for the most part, what you're looking at is Bungie's operating off of data for the entire player base, the global database. So if they're making a decision, it's based off statistics that you know are way beyond our comprehension. That's why they change stuff. Now, every now and again, there's going to be a bad decision, but still, it's like if you had a bad experience or something, your opinion doesn't mean jack nor squat, because again, they're operating off of some big boy stuff, like some big numbers.
Yeah, I mean the online like the stuff you see online ultimately is like the vocal minority in terms of who is actually, because let's
Hit
say
dogs holler.
100,000 people are complaining about something on, I don't know, League.
Mm.
That's 100,000 people. You know how many people
I
play League?
Yeah, yeah,
Millions. So
it's millions. So even if it sounds like it's a big majority, but that's I mean,
I was just
I
using
don't
that
play
because I
League.
could. I was just using League because I could be like, they play millions of people play that, and I wouldn't be wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I don't play League anymore. I don't play League anymore. Let me. I used to be really into it. I mean, I played League. I think when in eighth grade I downloaded it and I played one game and I walked into a tower and I deleted the game because I thought it was ass. But I was looking for a free game to play. I was playing as Nautilus. That's a deep cut core memory there. And then I downloaded it again a couple of years later. So like season 3. So I've been playing League for the longest time on and off. I suck absolute bleep at it. I am the worst. I really do suck at that game. And there was a time when I really wanted to get better. So I would, take my ADD medication so I could actually sit down and focus on something. I would chug a couple of Red Bulls, the pair of Red Bulls, rest in peace. Those were the mess. And that would get my heart rate running up so high. I would have to listen to smooth jazz to bring it back down because I was tweaking. And I really, really, I really was. And I was playing Nasus too, which is like the slowest character ever. You don't need that level of, like, he's not very technical. You don't need that level of craziness to playing very well. There's no ability spamming. You literally just hit Q as best you can. And I really tried to put in the effort and try to learn wave management, how to CS good. I am dog water at CSing is why I play Nasus. Like I am just abysmal. And I really tried, and I think I hit gold once or twice, but for the majority of the time I've been bronze. I just had to call it, and I had to say, I have fun playing League with my friends, but I cannot. It's just not in me to improve to a level where I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm actually getting up there.
Right? Yeah, climbing.
Yeah, that was it. It really did just. It was just pissing me off more often than not, and I would get real agitated. And it was like, why am I playing a game that's making me agitated?
Exactly. So talking about like playing games that like make you agitated and like save the community stuff. I just got back from the Halo World Championships. They were this past weekend. Unfortunately, my team didn't win. I was pretty sad about that shit. But they were less torn up about it than I was, I guess. But but I was there, and I haven't played Halo consistently, like Halo Infinite consistently in like 4 or 5 months at this point. or like at all. So I showed up to these worlds, and I went last year, and last year they were like had announced a whole bunch of stuff for the game, and the vibe in the room was like really great. The vibe in the room this year was like if last year was like 9 out of 10 in terms of like how good the vibes were, to this year was like 4 or 5 out of 10. It was really bad
Yeah, I
in terms
mean,
of like overall vibe,
yeah.
and that just kind of played into it. Like people have been really negative about Halo for like a decade at this point.
Since ODS, I mean, I want to say since ODST because I think four, when Bungie left and all that stuff. I remember people whining about ODST because you weren't playing as a Spartan. You know what I mean? Like that's
Well,
like,
that was just dumb. I think people
yeah.
that
But that's the
was
point. It
people
is
didn't.
dumb. It is
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. People just didn't realize what they had before they lost it, or type deal.
Exactly.
I know like the majority of the complaining started in like Halo Reach because it was such a departure from like
See,
what
and
the
that is
first three games
so
were.
so crazy to me because my first exposure to Halo, I think, was Halo 3, where I'd go around my next door neighbor's house, and he was a couple years older than me, and he would just put it on the hardest difficulty on the hardest level. And I can't rightly remember, but it was a bridge level where there's like an upper and a lower level. It's towards the end, but he put it on the hardest difficulty, and he would laugh at me failing at it because again I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
So I didn't touch Halo for a while. I was a PlayStation boy till I died. You know what I'm saying? But then, when I moved to America and I was living in a hotel for a couple of months. My parents, because all our stuff was getting shipped over in a cargo container on like a big like freight
hmm
boat, whatever they are. And those take months to get there. So for 3 months, didn't have anything apart from what I could fit in my backpack and my suitcase. When we got here, my parents got me and my brother an Xbox, a copy of Halo Reach, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World on DVD, which I have watched to to hell and
too
back.
too many times.
I look. I know Scott Pilgrim's the bad guy. I get it. I get it. But I still love that movie. It is astounding. And Edgar Wright's an amazing director. But regardless, but Halo Reach was like my first real exposure to the Halo universe and Bungie. And I mean, I played that co-op with my brother so much. I love Halo Reach to death. It is seriously to me. I know, and this is just my opinion. It's my favorite Halo game. I think it's one of the best just because the story hits so hard. I know it's not Master Chief. I know it's a little silly, but I just really really like it. I mean, shoot, man, that final scene had like a little eighth grade me tearing up. I couldn't
Oh
believe I
yeah,
died.
absolutely.
Yeah,
No, there's nothing.
that,
I
that,
mean, there's nothing wrong with like having a favorite Halo game. You wouldn't
but
believe
yeah,
me when I telling you that. Have you seen my Twitch chat history with some of the people I talk to who say that that Halo Reach is like the greatest thing to grace God's earth? I'm like, no.
well,
Look,
let
look,
me tell you.
look here, random Twitch user. You don't understand. Okay, so, but I look at
Every
things more from like the multiplayer side anyway. I think the
yeah,
campaigns have all been pretty good, except for I didn't really like fives, but like
I
all
I
the
got
games have been
4, and I don't think I got past 2 missions in it. I really got bored really quick.
four. I don't know, just
But
four was the first time I ever got Xbox Live, so I played that shit a lot, like a lot.
yeah,
It's still
yeah,
one of my most played Xbox games of all time. Like if you check like time played,
yeah.
so I can't be like I hated that game. No, I
I
had fun on
mean,
that game.
I'd say everybody's favorite game is the game they played in eighth grade. Um, I will, because that's just what you had before you had to worry about all the other stuff
Before
going on.
life
I
killed
will,
you.
yeah, I will say though, mine was 2011, so we're talking about Skyrim, Halo Reach, like Gears of War, the one that plays Mad World in it for some reason.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, with the sad. I mean, again, that had me tearing up when I was a kid. But I look back at it, I was like, why did he put Mad World in there? It was so
Dom,
funny.
no.
Yeah, yeah. But
Fucking
so
mad.
those are the best times I remember playing. And then of course Destiny came out a couple years later, and it was all uphill from there.
Yeah. I what was I doing? What was my 2011? I mean, obviously I was playing Halo Reach, but I didn't buy it for a while. I played Skyrim more than I played Reach.
Oh yeah, no, I
At
played
least in that
Skyrim
first
too. I
little bit.
sucked. I I
Skyrim?
remember reading that you could. Yeah, I mean, I found a way to suck at Skyrim, and I'll tell you what it was. I remember reading that you could. I saw it on. I don't even know. I think 9gag. That's
Oh
what I was
man.
on. It could. Yeah, deep cut there. Uh,
Somebody's fight or
But
flight response just kicked off into that in the
well, this
comments.
I guess what else is when 9gag got too basic or bad or whatever, they made a new website that was gonna be so much better called Huge Lol, which then did the exact same thing. So
Oh
somebody
yeah,
heard 9gag got scared, someone just heard Huge Lol and just got really freaked out. But if you just spam making leather tiny little iron daggers, you get your experience all the way up, you know. And so I did
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and I didn't have any good equipment. I didn't have any good like skills or anything, but I was like 20 levels under leveled. I remember I was trapped in the College of Winterhold for like I think like a week real game time because I just did not have the damage to kill this dragon. There was a
Oh,
dragon
oh
laying
no.
siege to, and I was just stuck there.
You
Honestly,
like
I can't
power
remember how I
leveled your
got out.
smithing, so you're like level 100 smithing, but your
Exactly
your one
that.
handed
Yeah,
is like
so I
level 5. You're just like you
exactly that.
can't
So I
kill
just had
anything.
no way to kill him, and I was just trapped there. I think I literally just would because luckily the College of Winterhold's full of very useful NPCs. Very they're all they can't be killed. So I just kind of like stayed hidden around there until they killed him.
That's the strat. You find the unkillable NPCs and hide behind them.
Exactly that, man. That was very stupid of that game.
That's what else? Let's see. What else is like 2011? Like I can't remember. I think Reach and like Skyrim kind of like took over
Yeah, I mean
for
those were the
for
two
like the
biggest ones.
majority of people.
Absolutely, those are the two
Yeah.
biggest ones. That and I was playing a lot of Pokemon. Now you see, it's always the generation that you played the most that you like the best. I think I started on like Fire Red and Leaf Green, but I'd always play on my friends' Game Boys. My parents didn't get me a Game Boy until somebody gave me one. And but the Pokemon I played the most was Diamond, Pokemon Diamond. That one's my favorite. Again, it is just nostalgia. It's whatever you played the most
Mhm.
is the
Right.
best one, and everybody's right. But I do think I remember playing Scarlet and Violet recently, or it was the one that was based in England, Sword and Shield. And I got to the cave, and I was like, "Oh, cool, a cave section. This is gonna fucking suck." Yeah. Oops, sorry. But because in Pokemon Diamond, I would be stuck in the caves for ages. Those places were tough. And I get there, and it's literally just it's one road, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." They got rid of the complicated cave sections. That's a bit of a letdown. That was a bit of a bummer, but it was fun nonetheless.
Yeah. I never was much of a Pokemon player.
Mm.
I mentioned it very briefly. I got into Yu-Gi-Oh really early. It was like the first show I watched,
Oh,
and I got if you watch that first episode and you're not hooked immediately, you're never gonna be hooked on that show.
I remember watching that in VCR. I think my friend had the Millennium Puzzle too, like a little
Oh,
one.
I have the model actually, like somewhere
Oh, there you
somewhere
go.
in here.
Yeah, isn't that the
Uh,
one that give out without instructions because it's a puzzle?
yeah, they give
Or
you the instructions on how to put all the pieces together, like to build, like to have
oh
the
no,
pieces.
they released one where they didn't give you any instructions on how to build it.
Right. So it's a model kit. So they teach. So like all the pieces come in like parts. So you put it together. So you build all these pieces. So you have like a bunch of like puzzle pieces on the floor, and that's it. Like once you have those together, like you just have to build that. And I was like, damn, this is
That was a
hard as
pretty good
hell.
bit.
That was
That's
a good.
pretty good.
Yeah, it
Well,
was good. It was good. And I built it. And I was like, I'm never taking this shit apart. So
that's fair.
it's just
That's
sitting.
fair. That's
It's
fair.
just sitting on my desk, just chilling. And I was like, I'm never taking that apart. I might get another one, and leave it like taken apart because they put out like the sarcophagus thing that it came in the show. I'll just put the pieces in
Right.
there, and when I'm gonna fuck with somebody, I'll be like, here, put this together. Now leave me alone. You can't
I
do
could
this in one night. I don't care. Leave me alone.
I
This is
could
my
never get
entertainment.
that's cruel, but I could never get into the card game so much. I was a little stupid, and all my friends were mean, and they wouldn't teach me right. So
Oh well.
yeah, that was a common theme. I'll say that was a common theme. Um, but no, I did play a little bit of Magic, but I had to stop as well because that was a big money in that big money.
Yeah. The issue with the Yu-Gi-Oh card game is it got so complicated, and they're not doing stuff now to help new players get in,
Yeah.
and they're doing stuff that's like pissing off older players. Like I don't want to buy cards, right? I haven't bought like product that gives Konami money in like years because I just don't like. There's no point really.
That's fair. Every now and again, I'll buy myself a little Pokemon booster pack. I don't play the game. I just do it just to, it's
It's
reminds me of
collectible.
being a kid. Yeah,
Well,
well,
it's
it's not
collectible
even
too.
for that. It's not even for that. It's just I just like doing it. I used to do it all the time. My dad used to travel a lot. And he went to Japan a couple times, so I think I got a foiled Japanese Darkrai somewhere around here.
It reminds you of the times before the war.
Something like that. It
before we
reminds me
stepped
now I'm
into
gonna
the
pay
war with
rent.
the
I'll tell you that
cabal.
much.
Before
Oh
the war with the cabal on Mars.
yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, that was good. But no, it's fun. But
Yeah. Real quick, I'm gonna
yeah,
steer us back a bit to content
yeah.
creation. You mentioned John was like one of your inspirations for your like content and like what you want to do. Do you have any other people or streamers, content people that have kind of like influenced
So
like what you want to do or inspired
I
you
mean,
at all?
I've been wanting to make content since I was like, I want to say 9 or 10, and I, I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was watching a lot of watching back when I was a lot of the Key of Awesome. That was it. They would do like not lame. They were good for the time, but they would do like a lot of parodies. I watched a lot of Shane Dawson back in the day. I don't know, and you see on. But and I recorded a video with my brother on a flipping like camcorder that like took a tape that
Yeah,
I
with the
tried buying
tapes,
a
yeah.
tape for that camcorder the other day. They didn't even sell it anymore. Like it is gone. Not even in like video stores just for that kind of stuff. It's gone. So somewhere there's a little cassette tape of me. But funnily enough, when I recorded this little video of just me messing around with my brother, I was wearing a ski mask. So it really did just. I realized that the other day. I was like, it
The
did
origin
come full
story.
circle. Seriously, yeah. Gondola was born way before I was. But and then with the rise of gaming channels, I really want to make game stuff. I actually found an incredibly. I found my first ever gaming channel, and I'm sure at some point I'll do something with it. But it really is just me and my other prepubescent friends just playing Minecraft. We were playing the jumper or like a puzzle map in Minecraft. And I was like, "Hello, everybody! Welcome to my Minecraft. Let's play." But my big inspiration at the time was the Yogscast. Are you familiar with the Yogscast?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh, tragic. I mean, they literally for the longest time they were the #1 subscribed channel on YouTube. They were dethroned by Smosh and then I think by like PewDiePie after that. But it was it for the they used to play Minecraft. They had this great series called Shadow of Israfel where it was kind of like an AR. They would play Minecraft and there was a story in it.
Right.
I mean, these guys are like the OGs, and they're still around, and they grew up they lived not 30, 40 minutes from where I grew up. So those guys were a huge inspiration. I really, really love the Cast. But what's funny is they blew up, or they were like the first gaming channel to blow up. And the funny thing about that is when they became the #1 subscribed on YouTube, YouTube like threw a party for them in like 2012 or something. And it's just these two pasty white British nerds standing next to a giant ice sculpture of Yogscast. And for some reason, there's like two bottle blonde hot chicks next to him who like got paid to be there. And it looks so awkward and stupid.
I should go
But
find
I
that
love.
picture.
I have it saved on my desktop. I'm pretty sure. I
Oh,
love that image so
okay.
much. It is so funny. But they're a huge inspiration. And then, but they're still going on. They're still streaming. Mad respect to them. They do a lot for charity every year. They do a lot for charity. But the others, of course, is I used to watch a lot of Markiplier and Jacksepticeye as well. Those guys were cool. I mean, you can definitely. I say you can feel the bones of my content, but then again, that is just sitting somewhere and recording yourself. So that's a bit that's a bit redundant.
Props to he gets a lot of flowers. He absolutely deserves them. But Markiplier, absolutely like
he huge inspiration for me. Seriously, him and
good
Jack,
all around dude. Going medical stuff going on, but and
yeah,
just
yeah,
always raising
poor
money
fella
for
can't drink
charity.
now. Yeah, but I mean, he really did just nail it, and also no controversies, which for
as
a
long as he's
creator,
been around. For as long as he's been
Yeah.
around, that's really good.
But no, he is a excuse me, huge inspiration for me.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of what else, but I think those are definitely the bigger ones.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a good cast of people to pick right there. It's not often you
Yeah.
get to be like, my YouTube inspirations are are X, and then you can't you have to say it with like hiding your face a little bit because half the people that were
Yeah, you
inspirations
know what?
or
I could pick them
Yeah.
because Onision aside. Shane Dawson, okay, young. But for example, the Yogscast, those guys are Minecraft YouTubers, so we all know the reputation Minecraft YouTubers got, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it started as two dudes, and then it expanded into a big unit. And one of those guys actually did have a pretty serious controversy. And as soon as it was discovered, he was out. He was gone. The guy came out and said, "Look, we're gonna have to nix him. You know, we've investigated. We found it to be like, true, he's gone. We're not dealing with him. And it was a very quick, it was a fair response, but it was very quick. And they gained a
Right.
lot of respect for me for that because they weren't trying to cover it up in the slightest, you know. And this was
Right.
before a lot of the big controversies. That reminds me, a person I used to watch a lot in eighth grade was Sky Does Minecraft. Funnily
I've heard
enough,
that name. I didn't watch a lot of Minecraft videos growing up. I think I just missed like that boom.
these were like the OG guys and all that fun stuff. But thing about that guy is he was grooming a lot of minors. Found this out later. He groomed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. Small world.
That's
Uh, tried to groom. He wasn't successful, but
it's a small world. It's just with the
something like
fucking
that. It was just
the fucking
it was
Disney.
just funny to me. I was like, oh, there is only 2 degrees separation between me and that guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've got nothing like that in terms of degrees of separation.
I
Unless
can't.
you count being in New York on September 11th, 2001.
That's yeah. Okay. That definitely had a bit of a domino effect from MCR to Twilight to all that fun stuff. But real quick,
To the
back to
death
the
of
inspiration.
Harambe.
Sorry. Rest in peace. Shit, I apologize. Some guy carved his name in his hair, not his skin, into the back of his hair like that. It was wild time. But inspiration, I can't believe I forgot this one. But actually, the biggest inspiration I had, the one that actually made me want to start making content, like really was the push, was a
Right.
guy called Leptir1. Leptir1. This was back when I used to play Team Fortress 2. And it literally was just he was playing a spy, he sprayed it on the wall, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll look him up. And I thought he was hilarious. And I love this content. He quit. He stopped making it because he was going on to do a biology degree. But Leptir1 was, I think he rebranded or renamed, but he used to play a lot with Germa 10 years ago. And Germa is also a huge inspiration to me now. I love his style of content. I love how he is just unapologetically like funny as hell. He's always doing weird stuff. Nobody's laughing at him. Everybody's laughing with him, you know?
Right.
That's the kind of vibe I would want to curate is yeah, let me be weird and goofy and stupid and silly, laugh with me. Let's have fun with it, but let's not be mean. And nobody is rude to Joe. Everyone's in on the joke, and I love that. But it was crazy to me how when I went, I can't remember how I made the connection, but I just looked back and I found out that they had made a video together, or they made a lot of videos together. And now 10 years later, I'm watching the crap out of Germa. So it really is just it was just another crazy little cycle.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it goes. Like I happened to catch a short randomly because I didn't watch Destiny videos. I still really don't watch Destiny videos. I played a little bit. It's not like my game,
I mean, I don't.
right?
I don't.
And John just happened to come across my YouTube short, feed or whatever. I
Yeah.
clicked into his video and now I'm here. So
Exactly. Well, that's because his stuff transcends Destiny. It's him and his buddies having fun and having
it's just
a laugh.
it's just
You know
people
what I
having
mean?
it's just having a good time, right?
Exactly that. And so that's I was really scared for a minute of being pigeonholed, of being forced to just make Destiny content. I've had a few. Well, talk about the origins in a minute, but that's why I want people to watch my content because they like the kind of humor I have. They like the stuff I'm doing. They like the videos that I make, and not just because I play this one game. It would kill me inside if I focused solely on one game, really pigeonholed into it, and then all of a sudden the game goes off, or I can't play it anymore, or I don't like it anymore, and either I'm forced and I'm stuck in that rut, or I change and I lose everybody.
Right.
That would devastate me. So I really would want to. I really do want to be more of a variety kind of guy.
Yeah, that's my fear right now because when I do stream, I like Halo 1 so much that I'm always looking for people to play, and the instant somebody's like down to play, I will just drop whatever I'm playing and play that because I enjoy it so much. The unfortunate side effect is that if you just look at my streams, most of them are me just doing shit in Halo 1 because
Yeah.
I enjoy it so much. But that I don't want to be just like a Halo 1 guy. I don't want to just
Well,
be like a Halo guy. However,
honestly,
that shit is super fun, so I always want to play it.
here's what I'd say to you is honestly might be a good idea to keep those two things kind of separate. There's a lot of games that I really really enjoy that I'll never stream because that's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I enjoy, and it can kind of get you it can limit your audience. You know what I'm saying? Like if you only do the one thing.
Right.
And it is nice to have a little bit of separation there, to have a little bit of stuff that I only do for me and that I only do for content.
Well, the hard part
not
is
only
that
do for content.
right. Well, the hard part is I've posted just 2 of the neat little tricks that I know on TikTok, and they're
Yeah.
like some of my most viewed content. They're like Natrix and Analyze, and
TikTok is
people are
really a
like,
double-edged sword. Yeah.
they're like, wow, like think this stuff is super cool, but I post like this super fun thing I did, like was doing in it was probably like Armored Core or something, and it was just like 10 views, and I was like, cool, this is, I put a lot of effort into this Strive. Oh, it was Strive. I put a lot of effort
That
into the
was
Strive thing, and nobody watched it on TikTok, but they loved the 30-second clip of me throwing a grenade at a pixel in the sky and like a weapon come flying to me, and I was like, okay, well,
that that is the TikTok paradox. Is the more effort you put in, the less good it's going to do. But the thing about starting on TikTok, because to streaming on Twitch and YouTube, discoverability is god awful, terrible. Millions of people stream there, nobody's watching it. You do have to get you have to get the eyes on you from other platforms, looking like TikTok or YouTube Shorts. The problem is, it is so easy to blow up on TikTok. It's honestly a bad thing sometimes, because there was a little Destiny creator community for a minute that I've been part of, and let me tell you, most of these guys they didn't enjoy making content, so I distanced myself from them because I was like, if you don't enjoy making it, why are you doing it? And I'll tell you what it is
exactly.
they made one like Destiny emote meme video, right? I've made a lot of them. You know, they're a little cheap, they're a little schlocky, but they're fun to make sometimes. And it'll blow up. It'll blow up past your wildest dreams. You'll be sitting looking at like 100,000 views, and you're like, "Wow, oh my god!" And that rush from seeing the funny numbers go up is insane. And then you keep posting those little emote videos, and eventually you just run out of jokes. You're not having fun, a lot of these people, they didn't want to make content. They didn't want to have fun with it. They didn't want to grow a community. They just wanted to be popular. They wanted to see the numbers go up, And it really did kind of sour my view of making content for a while. There was a period where I uploaded one video a day for 100 days, and I did it as sort of like a challenge to myself to like keep the habit. And all those videos they are terrible. They're like shit memes, but some of those shit memes would blow up
Yeah,
really well. But I
you
was
get a
miserable making it.
100,000 views on a random fart joke, and then the video you spent 2 weeks working on gets 50.
Exactly that, and I think the big thing of being a content creator is learning to just like love the little numbers. Some of my biggest if you look at my biggest TikTok videos, some of the biggest ones are some edits that I did put some time into, and they're very cool. It's always got Cade Six in it because God knows this community loves Cade Six.
Oh
But it
yeah.
was like some Cade Six edit, and that blew up. That did really well. But then most of my top videos are like shit memes. One of them is literally just a clip of Jerma color shifted blue with a caption. Like
Yeah.
but those are the ones that do the best. So what you want to do is you want to build up your backlog of content that you love making. You're having a great time making, and then you can make some schlock to get them over there. You could put out the silly little memes that'll blow you up, and that's how you get the eyes on your stream and the eyes on your content. I don't watch Queso. I know he's a great guy, but that's exactly what he did. Is he would stream for years and years and years to like barely any viewers, and then one of his TikToks blew up, and then there he is now. He's like a staple. He is one of the big three of this generation.
Right.
And
I think also, so John also is like an inspiration for like for me wanting to do stuff because of the way he does stuff and the community he's built. But being in his community and like wanting to make content is also like a double-edged sword for me, because really what I want out of the content creation is to, one, do stuff like this, get to know people and build a community. But I'm in his community, and everybody already like hangs out. Like we already just hang out and play games and do stuff. And sometimes I just find it like, I'm like, I don't want to like turn that stuff into content, if that makes sense, because
yeah,
I just enjoy hanging out with people, and like content was like a way to hang out with people and build a community to find more people to hang out with. But I've got people who are like, if I put in like, hey, anybody want to play Guilty Gear Strive, like the fighting game that's really popular in the server, I'll get 6 people within a couple
yeah.
minutes.
John's done a lot of. He is a great community. My community. If you see it in John's video with me, one of the first things I say is, or I wasn't talking because it was like my first call with him, so I was a little nervous. Sue me. But one of my fans came into the chat and
It's
said,
like,
"No
I hope
offense, I'm only
Gondola
here for
doesn't get it.
Gondola. Make him
Yeah,
speak," or something like
yeah.
that.
So
The
some,
first thing I
yeah,
said was, "My community's they're assholes." But I love them to death. But it's like a fun little back and forth.
right.
But so there was never anything malicious in there. If that happens, they're out. I don't play with that kind of shit. I had a very streak thing. But for me, it was whereas I think a lot of John's fans are going to be 20 somethings, right?
Or younger. He's gotten a lot of younger viewers relatively
Yeah.
recently,
But
which isn't like a bad thing, but like
no, absolutely. But
it's
a lot of
noticeable.
people call him, say he's similar to Russian Badger. Russian Badger was big 10 years ago, or he's still
He's
big, but you know what I
he's
mean?
still big.
Like,
He's bigger than ever,
yeah.
really.
No, I know. You're right, but I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of people my age really like his content and really like John's content because of that, right?
Right, yeah. Because
Whereas,
the obvious inspiration is
yeah,
the Russian Badger.
absolutely. But a lot of the dumb shit that I do brings in a lot of teenagers. So aside from them just having less money to spend on like charity drives and stuff, which is John had to maybe up the prices on the charity thing because the last time I did a charity thing, I bet I got $100. He was like, dude, you gotta pump those numbers up because
Oh yeah, because John's
you're
got some
gonna
people
die
in his chat with some
with big
deep
money.
pockets. Yeah.
Someone spent $100 on a drawing of me drinking Spaguinness, which I love that drawing. It's amazing. Thank you. And shout out Sky for drawing
Yes.
it.
Skylar Sunrise is
Absolutely.
yeah,
Amazing.
they do great art. I love
But
that.
my community, I'm honestly glad my Discord's a little dead because managing them is a full time job. Like I said, I don't, even though they're teenagers, and it is kind of like herding cats trying to get these guys not to be dicks.
Yeah.
That is something I would take very
teenagers.
That is something I would take very, very seriously. Because if they're gonna make memes about me or make memes with me or call themselves a Gonzoli and then they're out there being rude, then that's gonna reflect on me. And obviously I can't control all my fans, but if I can set some hard boundaries and say this is what's funny, this is okay, this is not, and give anybody who's not playing nice the boot, then that's what I'm looking for. So I'm kind of glad my community is a little sleepy right now because I can't manage the man deal with all the stuff I got going on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that John and I talked about like that that community aspect, and it's like you have to really tread that line of you got to police your community, but you don't want to like strangle it either, right? Like you want to let them have their fun because if you're constantly like, don't do this thing or whatever, people are gonna stop watching. But if you let them run wild, like you said, that you get like rude people who don't understand like true boundaries, especially because with how many people are, for lack of a better phrase, terminally online nowadays. So
and
it's tough, It's something I don't envy.
I do play a little bit rougher than like John, for example. He's very nice guy. He's very everything's like above board. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not as I'm a little bit more of a degenerate, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah. I mean, you can get him to like talk a little smack, but he's never like he doesn't he's not doing Filthy Frank bits.
Yeah. And I mean I'm better there. I used to love Filthy Frank, for better or worse.
Sorry to cut you off real quick. Did you know he's like a K-pop star now?
Joji? Yeah.
Yeah. So many people don't know that, and like it's so funny when people find out the other way around that are like Joji fans. That's funny.
I bought a knockoff hoodie because he used to. Well, so the tragic part about Frank, and actually this kind of plays into what I'm talking about here, is he had built up this online persona. Him and iDubbbz had this, this online persona being rude, being dicks, being blah, 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 blah. And then one time he opened up about his mental health, his struggles, and he tried to release some of his music, which was very Joji themed. It wasn't Filthy Frank raps. It was
right.
the Joji thing. He got so much backlash. He got so much hate from the community that he had cultivated intentionally or otherwise. That he would hide his music in like hidden accounts on YouTube, and I would go out and I would find him, and I got a custom printed hoodie of it. I think my brother has it now, of like his old music. I think it was under like Chloe Acton or something was the name he was going under at that point. So, and that's something that, like I said, I play it a little rougher around the edges, and that's going to attract a bit more of a rough, like more abrasive crowd, and it's important to me to really have them lock in and
like
understand that we're having fun, we're having jokes, but we're not dealing with that. I mean, there was a story I saw about iDubbbz. I used to love iDubbbz too. Loved him to death. I went back and watched some of his videos, and I went, "Oh man, what was I should not have been watching this." You go back and look at some of his old content cops, and it was just, I think I watched one, and I was like, "Oh yeah, a bit of nostalgia. I'll watch a content cop." And the first 5 seconds, he said 2 different slurs for groups that he was not a part of, and I went, because I weren't used to hearing that 2016 humor. But he felt horrible because one day he was.
Oh, didn't he?
Hanging out with
he like
fans.
came out and made like a big like apology to like a
Oh
couple years
yeah,
ago. Yeah, right.
to Tana Mongeau for one reason or another. But no, what happened was he was had some fans come up and asked him for sign something, and one of them said, "I'm sorry, I know you probably hate people like me, but I'm trans. Can you still sign my stuff?" And he felt horrible because he was like, "I don't hate
Yeah,
you.
that's
I
what I
don't
was
care
talking
about
about. Yeah,
that."
he somebody like you're saying, just felt
Exactly.
like horrible that like he had put that out there, and
That was the vibe he was giving off because he never. And that's what I want to be. Funny and dirty and whatever the hell I'm doing, but I want to make sure that it's it's I'm not. You get what I'm trying to say. I
yeah,
want to make sure that my community is still going to be. We could be dumbasses, but I want us to be happy and nice dumbasses. You know.
yeah, you want your community not necessarily to be what's the way people describe it? It's like you don't always need to be nice, but you should always be kind type
Something
type
like that. That's
deal.
like a northerner versus southerner thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's
So
like it's fine if your community is like making jokes or whatever, but as soon as somebody's like, "Hey, like this is like making me uncomfortable," like it
yeah,
stops
it
immediately.
ends. And
Yeah,
and I had a my Discord had a pretty extensive rules list because I was just not playing around. I was not dealing with that stuff. But yeah, the nice but not kind stuff. I'll tell you, I moved to the south. I call myself a good old southern boy. I like it. Not in the weird bad way, but just I love the food.
the
I
banjos are
do
getting
love
louder
some
in
of
the
the.
background somewhere. Just
Yeah, let's say I'm more like I love the Appalachian moonshine kind of side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like I love the
yeah,
that more so than the squeaky clean like Savannah or Charleston or some of that kind of stuff. But I do love the food. I'll tell you that. Going from British food to Southern food. Oh my god.
southern food is if you don't
Oh
have real
no.
southern food, I feel
Yeah.
bad for you.
Oh yeah. No,
We
that's what I'm. My
we
girlfriend's real southern. Her family's real southern. I
oh,
go
you're
around her house.
lucky.
I have the grandma's biscuits and gravy, dude. I'm like, oh,
You
I go
almost
to a
died. It
Thanksgiving.
was
I'm
so
eating the
good. You
sweet
almost
potato
died.
pie with the marshmallows on top. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there like
Yeah.
swimwear, dude. You can't pull me off.
We
Oh my god.
I grew up mostly in Texas. Like I'm a Texas boy.
Ah,
I've moved since then. But
that's a different kind of. That's why I said Appalachian. Like the South
yeah, yeah,
Appalachians.
yeah.
That's their own breed. They're their own breed. I do love them.
I mean, we had a lot of transplants from over there, so we had all sorts of southern food. But
Yeah.
I moved a couple years ago, and the first thing I did at a restaurant, I walked in, we sat down, I looked at their menu, and it said chicken fried steak, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try that. Uh,
Oh, I love chicken
and
fried
if you've
steak.
never had like southern chicken fried steak, it's got a
Mm.
very specific but very good taste. And I
It
ate
is
that. I looked
astounding.
at my significant other and I said, "That chicken fried steak wasn't very good." And I don't,
I,
I feel really bad about that because I think the server heard me because he gave me a free hot chocolate because that's what I had. I was like, he like brought it over. He's like, "Here's your refill," and I was like, "I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to get a refill."
I know. I love it. I truly, truly do.
I've been dying up here trying to find like good Southern food. I found good like Mexican food, Tex-Mex,
Yeah.
Hawaiian, all sorts of all these different stuff, and I cannot find a good like Southern
It's
biscuits,
hard.
gravy, mashed potatoes,
You honestly might have
chicken
to
fried
make it
steak.
yourself because it's just hard to find. It really, really
It
is. It's
really
very
is.
underrated.
Yeah, well, because those people don't those recipes go to the grave half the time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, some of them are online. You gotta get what you can. But and that's funny you said you're from Texas because you don't see a lot of the cowboy houses in my part of the South. In fact, that's how you know someone's like a fake Southerner. That's how you know that they're like kind of like a yuppie because
Yeah,
we don't wear cowboy hats around here. We don't got no cows. We ain't got no cowboy. We got a lot of cows. We ain't got no cowboys. So it's like if you wear that around me or around us, it's like, oh, okay. So you're just you probably drive one of the big old lifted trucks, and you got you listen to the pop country music, and I love my wife and I fuck my truck and all that silly little stuff.
no, I mean
But
I don't claim to be like a huge like like Southern guy, but I don't know. I see some people walking around. I saw somebody at the Halo World Championships this weekend, and he was in denim jeans with a denim jacket with the fuzz on the inside, the cowboy hat. And I looked at him, and I saw the belt buckle, and I was like, okay, hang on. Now
that's a
I
Texan.
gotta figure out if this guy Texan, and then if he's like Texan or if he's Texan.
Yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah,
because my grandpa he was Texan, and I
yeah,
grew up and I went to like small towns and stuff like less than 3,000 people. Like
yeah.
every other person was a ranch hand. Every other person was the ranch, like worked at the ranch. So
Absolutely. But so in fact, some of my like favorite gaming memories is my friend, his mom and stepdad lived out in the sticks, like 30, 40 minutes out of civilization, like in a hot, like literally a holler. He owned a double wide and it was kind of like the Harold and Kumar scene where it looks kind of like weird, but then you go inside and it's super nicely furnished, and that's what it was. It was amazing on the inside, but it was really just out in the sticks, and there was no internet. They had zero internet out there. So whenever we were around there, and I was around there like every weekend, we would be forced to play games offline with each other,
Right.
you know? And I would go and hang out with some of my friends and they would just go online. They'd be like talking, like, huh? What? Oh, okay. They'd be like, I hated that. That is not, why am I here if you're just going to play online? I could play online at home, dude.
Yeah.
And I loved that it forced us to be off the internet and just like play together. Now, all he did that a lot. He didn't have internet a lot, so all he would do is just practice Tekken and beat my ass, the little asshole. But um, and
He's over
Soul
here.
Calibur,
He's like
yeah,
touch of deathing you, like one
yeah,
combo,
he
you're
was
just dying.
absolutely
That's
mollywopping
hilarious.
me. But like there was other games, like the Little Big Planets we played together, and it was all offline. There was nobody else. It was just me and him, like some Cheetos and like a shit ton of energy drinks and soda. And then his stepdad was a firefighter. And I love this man. You know, he had the classic mustache. He was a good old boy. He would just come in at like 3 a.m. off his firefighting shift to go, "You boys want some Waffle House?" And then he would drive two
Yeah,
like
with
14-year-olds to
the
Waffle House at 2 in the morning.
the deepest
And
Southern drawl you ever heard. Just, you guys want some waffle? And you're like,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly that. He would sit and if he weren't doing that, he would sit and watch us spit and dip into his Mountain Dew bottle. But he took his Waffle House. He was like, "Listen, I know you're from Italy. I'm gonna show you how to eat your hash browns the right way. You want a smothered covered fry, then you got to cover them in ketchup and mix that all up, okay?" And I was like, or smothered covered slathered. And which if you don't know the Waffle House, A, I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
Move. B, when you order the hash browns, they don't get them with tomatoes. You don't get them with this. The terminology they use is smothered, covered, slathered, and then there's some others in there, like diced in there as well. And he would just mix it all together and eat it like that. And that was honestly one of the best hash browns I ever eat. I still eat them that way. Shout out Chad. His name was also literally Chad. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
shout out Chad, the Chad
Good
firefighter, for driving my little 14-year-old ass to Waffle House at 4 in the morning.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
I kind of
yeah,
miss.
no.
I miss being able to play games offline with your friends and
It's a
stuff.
vibe. It definitely is. Having friends around and like doing like a LAN party. It's definitely a vibe that has been absolutely nuked from orbit due to the current just kind of like gaming scape. But you know, it's just the price of
Yeah.
progress, I suppose.
Gotta be one of my least favorite changes for gaming for sure. Other than games launching not done.
Monetization.
Yeah, the way the monetize
Um,
stuff.
Yeah, because I remember Titanfall 2 was like $3 and you got like 4 skins, and that was it. That was all you needed to do. Were like a prime,
Yeah,
prime
get the
mech.
Prime bundles or whatever.
Yeah, and those were good deals.
Yeah, steering back to content real quick. I'm sure you've seen his videos, but I watched your one of your Elden Ring videos. Is it the one, or do you have more? I feel like I have a fever dream
Some of them
about
got
content.
unlisted because I kind of moved them. I wasn't happy with the way the videos were, so I moved them into 2 big ones. But I think 2 big ones out right now.
I've watched one for sure. I don't know if I've watched the other. I kind of fever dream content sometimes.
No, my content is a fever dream. So
But I was watching your content and I was like, you know who this reminds me of? And then I went and watched Maxor's video about Elden Ring.
Maxor, yeah, that's. I mean, we want to talk about my inspirations. I mean, there's way too many for me to list. For example, I got a lot of my humor from Donkey as well. Huge fan of Donkey. But yeah, Max. I'll tell you what happened. It was literally like a light bulb went off. Someone said, "Hey, you should watch this." I watched one Maxor video, and if you go back through my videos, you can see when I watched it because immediately after that, saturation's way up. I've got a little border around with tons of colors on it. I'd love to meet his level, but he has such
His stuff
command
is so good.
of the
Yeah.
visual space. Every second something's happening, but it's still all completely readable. Yeah, he's a savant. I couldn't even approach that. I'm but a cheap imitation. I just
No,
like bright
I
colors and
love
loud
me some
noises.
Maxor.
No, he's astounding. I really did just watch like all his videos in one night
And
and just like
his cadence is so good, the way he talks
mhm.
and all that stuff. It's actually so funny. I watched a video, like he was in the doing his normal voice or whatever in the video, and then I heard him on his stream talking normally, and I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was interesting. He's definitely somebody that I was like, if you're gonna make like he's someone that I was like, I watched and I was like, I want to make content and
Yeah.
do stuff like
But
that.
his stuff is just it's crazy. When you actually go down to the bones and try and make it yourself, it is kind of crazy. I'd love to try, but it's just way beyond what I have the time to do right now. But I also really like Zero Lenny. Ever watch Zero Lenny?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he was a Dark Souls, Bloodborne kind of guy. He was amazing. You could see He would do like torch only runs of Bloodborne. He was like really really funny. He used to have like a little robot voice that would do it for him, and then he kind of drifted more into being about him, which I like and respect as well. But he would do like a torch only run of Bloodborne, and then he would get to the final boss, and it would be like this big dramatic thing with like speeches playing in the background. I directly ripped that from one of my videos as well. That's just another
Yeah,
huge inspiration. Yeah.
that's cool. So we're kind of rolling up on the hour mark, and I'm trying my best. Some of these have gone a little longer than an hour. It's hard because everybody's so good. You're so interesting to talk to. Like, everybody's so interesting to talk to. But I want to make sure that our viewers are getting to know you and stuff. Are you working? So you mentioned like you're revamping your content in the future, but do you have any projects that are coming out in the near future that people can look forward to or anything like that?
So as of right now, probably just another couple of Elden Ring highlights I'm planning to sit down and work on. But before that, most likely is going to be I promise I will make a video essay, and I like making video essays, but I suck at writing scripts. I hate it, and I hate doing voiceovers. I like doing my shit a bit more off the cuff, but I'm going to do it. It's about the socio-political themes of parkour civilization.
Oh my! I saw you posting about that. I'm gonna go watch that just so I can go watch your video and understand what the hell is going on.
Let me tell you what happened is a couple of months ago I took a trip to Eddyville, and I saw like one video and I was like, "Ugh," it like perfectly sucked me in. I went and watched them all on YouTube, and then I thought about it again when someone talked about how it talked about something else, and I was like, wait, no, yeah, there is also a lot going on here. I mean, if you want to think about it, just to put one metaphor in there, the stratified layers of the civilization also told, and the inability for one to move up from one to the other talks about the difficulty for someone to move up through their social class or their social strata, from maybe lower class to middle class, and all the roadblocks that are in the way from doing that. And in this case, it's represented in a most literal way. Like, it's not a metaphor; it's literal. You got to go from there up. You want to move up in society, you gotta do things, but it's all the roadblocks. So that's something I'm going to talk about. But the big prohibiting thing there is I got to sit down and watch all again. That is like 2-3 hours of parkour civilization I'm going to have to sit through.
Oh man, I look forward to it.
That'll be a fun one. But yeah, I think starting in the new year, hopefully I'm going to have a 9 to 5, and that way it's going to be, like I said, edit this day, stream this day, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand the need the days because that's what I do for the Used podcast. So I'm like, okay, 15 minutes a day, each day usually gets me through. Like, not 15 minutes of me working on it, 15 minutes of time in the video editing is how I do it because they're bi-weekly. So I'm looking forward to some more Gondola content as always. I I watched your some of your videos and I'm like, I'm gonna try to do like that. So I would say trying to make content not quite the same because you're gonna be you're a little bit more off the cuff and stuff. I'm really I think the biggest issue for me about content creation is I'm really like laid back, and that's just not how. I'm not very loud either. I don't know because we've been in calls a couple of times, and I'll just sit
loud
there
equals
and
funny.
like, yeah, loud equals funny, and I'm not a loud person. I had a job where I mentioned it before stream where I would speak in front of 500 something people, and I'd like shout to get to because we were taking them somewhere, and I could not get my voice. I can't project my voice. I think it's probably some horrible trauma shit from when I was a kid, but I can't like my girlfriend heard me yell for the first time this year, and and I've been with her for 4 years, and I wasn't yelling at her or anything. There was like a bunch of arguments going on that were really 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 dumb, and I was just tired of it.
Yeah,
but
I get that. Yeah.
Other than that, like moment, I couldn't tell you the last time I like yelled with purpose and was like loud.
I do it very rarely. Obviously, being a bartender, you do got to deal with some kinds of people, but I don't yell often unless it's just for content. Even then, I don't like to do it if anybody's around, like in the person. I don't like if anyone's in the room with me. But I remember one time when I was like a teenager, like I like having a stupid teeth fight with my mom, and I yelled at her. She looked like really scared, and I was like, "Oh, okay, can't do that again." That was it could be a little scary in person to yell, but it's opposed to content where it's funny. But I used to have really terrible social anxiety, like really, really, really bad. Go ahead.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but I had that really bad social anxiety, and my first job was a cashier. So like I was not good with people. It was just hard for me to talk to people. So I had to be a cashier. So that was, I mean, I hated it at the time, but now like I know that I'm a much better conversationalist now because of that job being so awful.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a lot of my riz. Or a lot of my ability to talk does come from just being a bartender. But my social anxiety was so bad growing up that if I was to go to a GameStop to buy a game, because we had to do that, I would have to get my friend to check out because I was too scared to talk to the cashier of a GameStop. So like another nerd, another loser, but I'd be too embarrassed to buy like whatever Call of Duty I was buying at the time. And I was like that for most of my life, really. I was always pretty shy, and everyone was like, "Oh, blah blah blah." And I'll tell you exactly what got me over it. So maybe this will help you too, or help any of the listeners at home. Is I got drunk and I did karaoke, and nothing is worse than doing karaoke as far as like social anxiety wise, and everything
Oh,
gets a whole
absolutely
lot
not.
easier after that. So if you can
Yeah.
go up there, and I would do like System of a Down and like Rage Against the Machine because I'm a fucking psycho. I had so much fun. But if you can go with that, and you can find the fun. It just like because karaoke's all it's not about how good you sing. I'm a terrible singer. It's all about the energy you bring, and if everyone's having fun with you, then you're having fun. But everything is so much easier. Talking to people is so much easier once you've done karaoke once.
Yeah. I know I was just talking about because like I've been in calls with John and with other content creators, and I just don't like even in Discord. Like when I'm talking to people, they're like, "Bro, you're so quiet." And I'm like, I'm talking at like my normal conversation volume into this mic that is
Yeah.
got the gain up and like the volume and shit for it is up. So like you guys have to understand like how actually quiet I am when I'm not
Yeah.
talking into a microphone. So it's something
Yeah.
that I need to work on, and but that's why like content creation is hard because I'm not a chat like super chatty unless it's about specific stuff, or in a
Yeah.
situation like this where I'm like just talking to someone, like talking to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I kind of am trying to gravitate more toward like a Maxor, Russian Badger solo type videos because it coming up with bits is hard as hell, but like being able to talk like you guys do in your like with other people talking, making jokes and riffing and all that stuff, when you're quiet is so goddamn hard.
I get it. I get it. I mean, it truly just does come down to just being a bartender. If they sit at the bar, that means they want to yap. You know what I mean? That, or if I do, it's because I want quick access to the beer. But if they're sitting at the bar, it means they want to talk to you. That you got to ask them the same kind of questions. And I also used to be a tour guide as well. There is one very random industry I have a lot of knowledge on. Like theoretically, I could be doing a lot more than I am. But but so anyway, being a tour guide, it's like, oh yeah, let me just sit and talk to these 30 something people for an hour, and I'm the guy they're all looking at. Like I see people looking at me, and I'm gonna have to talk for an hour straight, 3 times a day, every day. And yeah, that's just it. Is I'll tell you what I can't do though. Even though all this, I've people say I'm very charismatic, I can talk, whatever. I cannot look people in the eyes for the life of me. Even as it is, I'm looking at something behind the camera. I can't even look at the camera's eye. I cannot
Oh,
look people in the eyes at
I never
all.
look at the camera. I'm looking at the screen below the camera.
Yeah,
I mean, it helps because I'm a VTuber, so it's like
yeah, yeah.
it automatically looks for me, so I can be
But
like,
in person, I like to pretend I'm hard of hearing just so that I can lean in and go like that, and that way I don't have to look them in the eye when I'm talking to people.
oh, well, see,
Um,
spoilers right there, everybody.
yeah, yeah, I'm giving away all my tips and tricks. So, but yeah, I just stuck and look people in the eye. It just feels too. I don't like
Yeah, it's
it.
like that sometimes.
Absolutely.
I will say, we haven't really talked about it, so this is gonna be like I'm jumping this on you. It would be nice to do some content together at some point in the future. I don't know what game. We can figure it out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think me being more quiet and like I don't want to say like I don't want to say stoic because stoic is like a different kind of being quiet, but
Reserved.
more reserved. Yeah, I guess reserved would be a good one. With your more out
Aggressive.
there, we'll say, well, aggressive
Egregious.
personality. Just doing like anything I
Absolutely.
think would be like a lot of fun, and it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It could just be we can figure something
Absolutely.
out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me tell you, what's I tell you what would be great is some streaming stuff because once everything's up and running, I would like to stream more and have some creators on there as well. I was funnily enough thinking of doing some. There's another amazing creator called Whispering Slab Enjoyer. Slab is great. I love him to death. He's one of the funniest guys I know. And me and him were thinking of doing some like interview stuff like with bits in it. So we might be doing some interviews at some point. But even outside of that, I tell you, I'd love to stream with you. Just you got to give me some. When the new year rolls around, I'll be streaming.
Yeah, so New Year time is when you're gonna be doing your streaming again.
Most likely, just because that way I can set a day, and I'm probably going to be moving between now and then as well. So
Yeah,
it's going to be a whole lot, and I want to get all my content ducks in a row first, and then I'm going to deal with moving and adjusting to a new job and getting into, dealing with all that, and that I can get everything back up and running for the new year is the goal.
All right. We love
Perfect.
that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Let's do some quick wrap up questions for our audience. We kind of been all over, but like mostly about content. What would say is like a tip that you have heard or have given to somebody that you would say like is important, like an important thing for people to keep in mind when they want to like make content or are starting to make content?
See, that's tough. That's tough. I'm always trying to learn as well. And then, I mean, that's really the only tip you can ever think about is always be trying to learn, because if you want to become an actor, if you want to become a famous actor, yeah, we know luck is involved, but you can go to an acting school and you can go to a local theater, and there's like set tips you can get. If you want to become big on the internet, you look up how to grow, and it's just going to be slop made for the masses. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason these YouTube channels are big is because they're making stuff for hopefuls. There's a lot of just useless information out there, right? But I tell you, yesterday I watched some really, really useful videos. And you can try and game the algorithm. You can try and do all this kinds of stuff. Really, it's just make what you want to make. Yeah, always be learning. Always be learning new stuff, new techniques, but always be learning, but make what you want to make. Because I tell you this, if you blow up because you did some gamey stuff and it's like you're making just slop that you hate making, then what's the point of doing it? So it
Yeah, make
sounds
what you want to
corny as
make is
hell.
always.
Yeah,
I
but be
think it's
true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's something I've struggled with. I genuinely, I know I'm a niche taste. I know I'm a little unique, and I want to be more palatable for the masses so that I can grow a little and hopefully make this full time. But it's how much of myself do I want to dull down? Do I want to scrape away before I just become another just absolute slop content creator?
yeah, absolutely.
And that's something I've struggled with, and I've recently been trying to turn around, because you can look up tips till the cows come home. It ain't gonna help, You just gotta be true to yourself, make the content you'll want, and yeah, post a lot on like TikTok and stuff if you can, just because that does help with discoverability. But it's not the end of the world if you can't.
Absolutely.
You gotta do it because you love it.
Yeah, I think that's always big because I talked about it in the podcast before with a couple people. The second you start worrying about like the numbers, like if that becomes your main thing, like you're worried about, instead of like, are you enjoying making the content? It's kind of when you've lost
Yeah,
your
you
ability to
you lost.
make
Yeah,
content.
because I could make weekly Destiny videos. I could blow up and doing all that kind of stuff. But it's just like I hate doing it, and I know that because I tried and I hated doing it. And a lot of my friends who are also creators have tried and hated doing it, and it's made them not want to create anymore. And it's a shame, because some of those dudes were so funny. They had such a unique vision and style and sound, and they stopped creating because they were trying to force themselves into a box they didn't fit in, and they didn't like it. I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried making core edits. I made lore videos for a minute, if you can believe that.
Wow, yeah.
Um, I didn't have fun. I didn't enjoy it. So yeah, that's that'd be that's it. It's just always try and learn stuff, obviously, and yeah, just make shit you want to make. Do it for the love of the game. Otherwise, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, I think also this kind of goes hand in hand with that is always like you're always trying to learn, but always try you like if you don't think you're gonna like something, give it a shot anyway. Because I
Yeah.
didn't think I would like doing this because
Mm.
I'm like I said, I try to be pretty low key and stuff like that. And but I don't know, I like really enjoy the editing process for this and
Hmm.
chatting and getting to know people. And
Yeah.
I didn't think editing a podcast would be as fucking annoying as it is, but Jesus Christ, you go through and you're like, oh shit, well I said here.
Oh yeah.
You can hear my breathing here. You can some of those edits
Yeah.
get so crazy and
Yeah. No,
all
I
that
I
good
hate
stuff.
audio.
But
Audio is the most important. Okay, actually, forget my last thing. Audio is king.
audio is
You
king.
can have
Yeah.
a video that looks like ass, but if it sounds fine, then you're okay. And I hate messing around with audio. I hate it so much, but it really is. It's important as far as videos go. But yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's be true to yourself. Always try and learn and fix your fucking audio, because it's because it's
Yeah,
super important.
I did the last episode that came out for this, or well, this it won't be the last video because this will come out after the next one. This is 2 episodes with Anakim, the episode with Anakim, he had some like noise coming through his mic because their mic's not as nice or whatever. So you could hear a bunch of like squeaking and like low quality squeaking, not like your mic is just gain is just too high. It's just like a cheap
Yeah.
webcam mic, I think. And it randomly got like some buzzing when they were talking. So I had to really like do some stuff with the audio, and I had to make a disclaimer in the video. I was like, "Hey, y'all, I had to do some stuff with the audio here, and it was going to sound really weird for like the next like little bit. My bad."
Yeah, I've had videos where the audio's just been scuffed. I mean, one time I don't know why, but for some reason it switched my default mic from the super expensive one to the webcam mic, and it
I hate
sounded
it when
like
it does that.
absolute
I hate when
shit.
stuff does
Because
that.
I was also
It makes me
talking
so
like
mad.
this. I was talking into the mic every now and again, and it would just get quieter because it wasn't picking it up. So I've definitely had that as an issue before. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
but
All right, so
one
my
thing.
next question for you.
Oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
no, 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 no. I thought you were ending. No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So my next question for you is, I don't drink very often. I'm not much of a.
Mm,
It's like once in a blue moon type thing.
mm,
But I do know that I enjoy bourbons, whiskeys, and meads.
right.
Right. I went to while I was out at the Halo World Championships. I had this stuff called I think it was Basil Hayden. Yeah, Basil Hayden whiskey. I did
That's
Google
the
it.
fancy Jim Beam. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I tried that out.
I'm not being mean. Jim Beam makes it.
Yeah.
No, Basil Hayden's a delicious bourbon. It's a delicious bourbon. I've worked
Yeah.
at a few distilleries, if you can believe it. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question for you is, if you had if I came up to you and was like, hey, I mostly drink like rarely, but drink mostly like bourbons and whiskeys and meads. If you had a bourbon that you would recommend, and I don't have like a very like refined taste yet because I don't drink very often, so I'm still like learning and stuff. Do you have like a bourbon that you would recommend? Children, if you're watching this video, don't drink this. I don't have
Eating
children
some bourbon
viewers.
ice cream or something, but oh no, dude, they'll learn real quick. They'll learn real quick not to drink it if you let them do it once. But
Oh, yeah.
well, let me say, I used to work at a really fancy cocktail bar as well. I've worked at dive bars, every kind of bar, really fancy cocktail bar, and I love making cocktails. It is a real passion of mine that I really can't get into right now. I'd never call myself a mixologist. That is the worst name I've ever heard in my life. But I did have the curly mustache. I got a thing of mustache wax because that was like part of the uniform, you know. But I worked at a very fancy bar with a very extensive whiskey list. That's what it was known for, a very extensive whiskey list.
Known for the whiskey, yeah.
And yeah, so I had to be very well read on whiskeys and all that kind of stuff. And whiskey snobs are the worst. God, they're the worst. I lived in Louisville for a minute. Anyway, but whiskey snobs are unbearable because they all think they're right. And let me tell you, there's thousands of ways to drink whiskey. Right? Everybody thinks they're right about their own unique one, but I'm the only one who's actually right. And it's there's no wrong way to drink it as long as it stays down. All right, that's that's the only right way to drink whiskey.
That's the realest answer about anything ever. Just
absolutely. So, for a good bourbon, let me tell you, there's some nice stuff out there. But I think you're really limiting yourself. I mean, bourbon and whiskey, they go hand in hand. But man, I'm trying to think what my go-to would be. Basil Hayden is delicious. I've had some Blantons recently. Those are a little bit pricier. Those are usually out of my price range, but that's Blantons is what I would recommend, and it's a classic old fashioned. Now, when you're making an old fashioned, I can make old fashions in my sleep. I've made thousands. I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. I've made thousands of old fashions. You gotta be careful. If I get yapped about cocktails, I'll be here for a minute, but I'll keep this one brief. But it really is just you need some simple syrup, and you can buy it, but it's equal parts sugar and water. Make it yourself. Some Angostura bitters, and then the whiskey and an orange. That's all you need. Big ice cube in there, 2 ounces of the whiskey, quarter ounce of the simple syrup, 2 dashes of bitters. Stir that up. You can stir it up in a glass with ice, like little ice cubes, but honestly, it's redundant. You don't have to do that whole muddling thing with a sugar cube and bitters. That is to make yourself look fancy. The simple syrup will do it easier, and you're not going to have any bits of sugar stuck in your teeth. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And then express the orange, and that's it. If you're gonna put a cherry in there, make sure it's a Luxardo cherry. It's like $10 a can. I know it's expensive, but they are just leagues ahead of some shit bright red Glacé Shirley Temple cherry, right? But yeah, my favorite cocktail is a classic daiquiri, not the slushy kind. But I'll talk about that another time. I can't. I'll be yapping for hours.
We won't get too much into the cocktails. I was just kind of because
sorry,
I had my
it is.
No. I like to learn that stuff because I had my one bourbon for basically the year over the weekend,
Absolutely.
and it was
Yeah,
the Basil
so
Hayden.
Basil Hayden is good. Basil Hayden, that's my best friend, and or one of my best
Basil
friends.
Hayden's
He's
your
a
best friend.
yeah, absolutely. No, I'm good friends with him, him and Jimmy Beam. But no, my best or one of my best friends' favorite bourbon is Basil Hayden. He's real funny. He's like he talks like this. He's a real down south boy. He's a funny little fella. But yeah. So I'm drinking E&J now, which is basically just cheap Hennessy. That's they say Henny when you got a penny, E&J for every day is what I'm saying.
Yep. I mean, you got to have that kind of stuff.
Every now and again, keeps me glib.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today. Do you have I know what kind of content like stuff coming out, like projects you're working on. Do you have anything that's coming out like relatively soon that people can be looking for? I'll have your YouTube and stuff. Do you want what do you want me to link at the bottom? Because I'll have your YouTube
Actually,
for sure.
yeah, I do. I do have a little something coming out soon. Actually, my debut. Check this out. And now this is where you got to turn on the blue chroma key.
All right, give me a second. that is
Hold on.
hilarious.
Let me turn on the face tracking. All right.
Oh, that's great.
You know,
I love
whatever.
that.
You know, I don't think I get the face tracking working right now, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
I made this a little while back. I had to whip it out.
The Deftones shirt really sells it. Yeah,
absolutely,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So is this your official reveal, or is this coming out before?
Yeah, no, this is the debut. This is the debut.
Oh hell yeah, live on air.
Yeah, I had to. It wasn't happy when I tried to. The boobs are so big that it was not happy when I tried to make them that big. Let's just say that. But there you go. That's me. Perfect.
That's lore accurate gondola right here.
Something like that. All righty.
That's great. Well, anybody who was a gondola fan, guess what? There's more gondola for you. This will be a U2's coming to you soon or whatever.
Yeah, U2's. That's be the only merch I put out is a little
U2's
little gooner figure. But no, I don't even want to think about that one. But
look, you know, gotta know your market or whatever for whatever.
I guess, I suppose. I hope not. I don't. Well, I've seen what they do with those figures. I ain't going to no jar. I'll say that. Perfect.
Well,
perfect. But yeah, there you go.
I appreciate the reveal. It'll be fun for everybody. So all my gondola fans that are now watching this video, I'm sure are freaking out. All two of them.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, perfect.
Thanks for coming on some short notice. I know we kind of just talked about getting you on, and then the weather, and then last night you're like, "Hey, let's do it tomorrow," and so here we are.
No. Honestly, that storm Helene really pushed me back a lot, but we're out here. We're still doing stuff.
Out here grinding.
So, I appreciate your flexibility as far as it goes.
Yeah, I just worked out. I was off today, so it was perfect timing.
Good stuff.
For some stuff, but
yeah, you can
I'm gonna
bring on the about cocktails another time.
Yeah, that'll be the gondola podcast part 2 whenever we
I'm sure
start getting that around. But everybody who has made it this far in the video, I thank you guys so much. I hope you had a great morning, evening, midday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whenever time you're listening. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. And again, Gondola, thank you for coming on. Everyone else, thanks for listening.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you all have a great day.